Thunderbolts or New Avengers came out not too long ago, and this is going to be my spoiler review on the film. If you haven't seen the movie yet, this is your chance to click off this video and go and watch it now. Also, if you want more content like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. With that out of the way, let's get started. Again, click off this video if you haven't seen the movie yet. This is your last warning. The movie starts off with Yelena Belova, played once again by Florence Pugh, completing a mission for Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. We hear Yelena talk about how she's depressed and feels empty inside. This is how pretty much all the other Thunderbolts feel too. I really like how this movie doesn't heavily rely on CGI and uses practical effects more. It's crazy that Florence Pugh actually jumped off that building, which, by the way, is the second tallest building in the entire fucking world. She didn't do the entire stunt, but it's still impressive that she really jumped off that building. Another thing I really like is this hallway fight scene. It reminds me of other great hallway fight scenes in the MCU, like from Daredevil and Guardians 3 and stuff like that. Also, Matt Pat makes a cameo in this movie, which is cool to see. While Yelena completes her mission, we see Bucky Barnes, played again by Sebastian Stan, go to Valentina's impeachment trial. Valentina brings up the events of Brave New World, so this movie takes place after that film. Later, Yelena goes to see her dad, Alexei Shostakov, aka the Red Guardian, played again by David Harbour. They talk about how neither of them feel fulfilled, and Alexei wants to work for Valentina. Yelena then has to do one more mission for Valentina, and she's sent to some secret base to kill someone who's going to steal some highly classified information. There, she runs into John Walker, Ghost, and Taskmaster, and they all try to kill each other. The fight scene between these four is fantastic.
Say that again?
I especially love the part where they're throwing the knife at each other. What makes this part super clever is that they're each throwing the knife at their target. Let's also talk about each of these characters for a bit, starting with Taskmaster, because she, well, you know. I guess you could say that the only task she was able to master was having less lines than Jackie Chan did in just one Kung Fu Panda movie. I don't really know why they even put her in this movie. I'm assuming that they wanted to kill her off ASAP, as everyone hates this version of the character. Like, I don't know a single person who likes this Taskmaster. You could take her out of the movie and lose nothing. I also feel bad for Olga Kurilenko because Marvel brought her back only for her to get killed immediately.
I'm just here to die, aren't I?
No.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What makes this very interesting is that she was originally going to make it out alive and would have a much bigger role in this film. She would be dealing with memory loss and would keep trying to kill John Walker after everyone has already become friends with one another. She also would have had a sisterly relationship with Ghost, the chick who shot her in the head in the final product. Speaking of Ghost, I feel like she doesn't do much in this movie. She just faded into the background.
Like a ghost. Say that again?
I think because they immediately killed off Taskmaster, Ghost was just there and didn't really have anything going on. There's some cool stuff in here with her powers, but other than that, she was just along for the ride. John Walker, though, was pretty good in this. I love how they made him the asshole of the team, and other than Red Guardian, he's the funniest character in the whole film. He's also one of the few characters whose shame room we see on screen, and it's a pretty solid scene. Him ignoring his kid and later feeling bad for doing that is very in character for him, and I wish we saw these shame rooms for characters like Ghost and Red Guardian. I'm okay with not seeing Bucky's shame room because we've already seen a lot of him as the Winter Soldier. But none of them are as important as Yelena is in this movie. She's easily one of the best characters in the entire film, and Florence Pugh gives us one of the best performances in the MCU in recent years. She's such a likable and relatable character, which I can't really say for other characters that were introduced during this saga. I also really like the scenes between her and Bob and her and Red Guardian. Anyway, after Ghost headshots Taskmaster, the group meets Bob, played by Lewis Pullman. They realize that Valentina sent them to an incinerator to kill them all, and they escape. Along the way, we see Elena's and John's shame rooms, which adds a lot of character depth to both of these characters. Bob then gets taken by Valentina, while Red Guardian comes to pick up Yelena, Ghost, and John in his limo. I think now is the right time to talk about the team's dynamic. These guys have great chemistry with one another. And I really appreciate the scenes where they're just talking about like their weapons and like what they've done in the past. Like all that stuff is cool. I kind of wish that Bucky and John Walker interacted more as they already have an established relationship, but whatever. Red Guardian is also the funniest character in the entire movie. A lot of his jokes land for me, and he's a very likable character. I also really like how he's not just comic relief. I really like the scene between him and Yelena towards the end of the movie, which we'll get to. Our team of misfits get attacked by a convoy, but Bucky arrives and captures them. Now, before we move on to the next scene, let's quickly talk about Bucky's side plot. For a good chunk of the movie, he is a congressman trying to expose Valentina's wrongdoings to the public. I didn't really care too much about the side plot. I like Bucky as a character, but I personally felt like this side plot slowed down the movie and brought everything to a halt. It's not boring to watch, but it's not that entertaining either. I also think that Bucky is a bit underused in this movie. He doesn't have to be the main character, but I still think he could have had a big role. There should have been more of him being the team's leader. Like after he captures them, he decides to join them pretty much immediately and gives them a pep talk about how you can still redeem yourself even after you've done a bunch of horrible shit in the past. It's a nice scene, and I wish he was somehow with the others from the start so that we can like get more scenes of him being a leader for this team. So after Bucky joins them, the group go to NYC to confront Valentina. They meet Bob again, who is now in a sentry costume, which, by the way, looks really good, and he kicks all their asses with ease. So while the group was driving through the desert, Valentina was trying to get Bob on her side while also trying to help him use and control his powers. I do think that Bob does get convinced a little too easily by her, but that's just a minor nitpick of mine. After Bob defeats all the Thunderbolts, he turns on Valentina pretty quickly. Not like that, but Val's assistant Mel activates the kill switch inside him and incapacitates him. This causes the Void, Bob, Slim Shady, to come out and start turning people into shadows and New York into Gotham. Meanwhile, the Thunderbolts feel defeated and split up. We then get this really nice moment between father and daughter. Once again, I really like that Red Guardian isn't just comic relief in this movie, and he actually has a couple of serious moments with Yelena. I also like how there's no jokes or funny moments in this scene. Like a lot of you out there, I think that the humor in Marvel projects is really like ruining the serious moments. Even good projects like Guardians 3 have this problem. So this serious moment is really a breath of fresh air, and more serious moments should just stop it with the jokes. The Thunderbolts then come back together, and Yelena goes into the Void to help Bob fight back against his darker half. The others go into the Void to help them too, and together they find the Void, and Bob starts to beat the shit out of him. Before the Void can like consume him, the Thunderbolts give Bob a big old hug. Some people might think this is like a bit corny, but I really like the scene because of how realistic it is. You can't just cure depression and get rid of it forever. That's not how that works. You have to talk to and surround yourself with people you know and trust if you want to feel happy more and depressed less. This scene is also better than Brave New World scene of Sam calming Ross down because this scene actually has something to say about mental health, while the Brave New World scene is just please don't beat the ever living shit out of me before the next two Avengers movies. I also want to talk about Bob slash Sentry slash Void, as I haven't talked that much about him as of right now. I would say he's my favorite character in the movie. Louis Pullman gives us a great performance as all three versions of this one guy, going from the timid Bob to the confident Sentry to the creepy and terrifying Void in such a natural and believable way. Bob is also such like an interesting and complex character that I want to see more of, and I'm glad he's going to be in Doomsday. So, after the Thunderbolts help Bob regain control over his body again, they go to arrest Valentina, but she tricks them into joining a press conference where she announces to the world that they're the new Avengers. I imagine that, like a lot of you out there, I'm actually okay with this being our Avengers team for now, as I like a lot of these characters and they have proven themselves to be a great Avengers team in this movie. I also like how during the end credits sequence, there's a bunch of newspapers questioning this new Avengers team. calling them the B Avengers and stuff like that. I thought that was hilarious. We then get two post-credit scenes. The first one has Red Guardian trying to get someone to buy Wheaties, as he and the rest of the new Avengers are all on the Wheaties box now, and I thought this was a fun and nice callback to the scene in the limo where Red Guardian says that he wants to be on the Wheaties box. The second post-credit scene is the one everyone's talking about, though. First off, most of the new Avengers have new outfits, and there's a new Avengers logo. I honestly don't really like these new outfits. I think they're a downgrade from the outfits they wore for most of the movie. As for the logo, I actually really like it. I think it fits this team really well. Also, why does Walker still have his taco shield? Anyway, we find out from this post-credits scene that Sam Wilson is suing the new Avengers and is copywriting the name Avengers. Him and Bucky talked about the problem, and it didn't end well. This is a very interesting conflict in my opinion, but I feel like I should care more about the problem. I think there are two reasons why I don't care about this as much as I should. The first reason is that we haven't seen Sam or Bucky that much in this saga. They both only appear in 2 to 3 projects each so far. If they were main characters from the start of this saga and appeared constantly, then I would have been super invested in this conflict. The second reason is that they're only waiting until the end of the saga to finally give us an Avengers team. If this movie and Brave New World came out at the end of Phase 4, it would have made this saga a lot better and make it feel a lot more connected because Phase 4 was all over the place, everyone was just doing their own thing, and it led to nothing big at the end. Phase 5 seems to be fixing this problem just a little bit, but not by much. Hopefully Phase 6 ends up being better than both Phases 4 and 5. Anyway, the new Avengers discover that there's a rocket from another universe coming to their Earth, and that rocket is the Fantastic Fours. This is easily one of the MCU's best post-credit scenes that we've gotten in a while. Yeah, the Deadpool and Wolverine post-credit scene was hilarious. Yeah, the Guardians 3 and Wakanda Forever post-credit scenes were heartwarming. But this post-credit scene actually sets up something we know is going to get paid off in a future movie. It's not pointless like the Quantumania and Brave New World post-credit scenes, and it's not something they're setting up that's not going to get paid off until after GTA 6 comes out. This post-credits scene also gets me even more hyped for Fantastic Four First Steps. I'm more excited to watch Superman, but I still really want to watch Fantastic Four as soon as I can. Does this post-credits scene spoil the ending of that movie? Not necessarily. For all we know, the Fantastic Four's universe doesn't get destroyed at the end of their movie, but they have to leave their universe anyway to warn other heroes from other universes about Doctor Doom. But yes, there is still a good chance that their universe does end up getting eaten by Galactus. Overall, Thunderbolts or New Avengers is a really good Marvel movie. Is it the MCU's best movie? No, I wouldn't even call it the best movie of this phase, but it still has a lot of heart, some cool action scenes, and great complex characters. I really want to know what their roles are going to be in Doomsday, and I hope we get to see more of them in the future. I give it an 8 out of 10. Anyway, that's all for today. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace!